Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're making some Diri Djon Djon, aka black rice. This is going to be with sweet peas and shrimp. It is so delicious. You know that saying, once you go black, you don't go back? It's for this rice, okay? Once you go Djon Djon, honey, it's going to be hard to go back to those regular rice. You know, this is like upgrading it. It's so good. And we're using the Djon Djon Maggi, which is easier to find in my opinion. I think it actually tastes better than using the actual Djon Djon plant. As usual, everything will be listed for you in the description box and the amount that I am using. Let's get down to the ingredients. So we're using Mahatma rice today. It doesn't matter which brand you use. It's still going to be the same exact steps and it will come out exactly the same. My husband, since we've been married, it's going on 3 years, have been complaining to me of how much he loves Mahatma rice. He grew up eating Mahatma rice. If you're from the Bahamas, like us, you know that that's the rice we grew up on. But honey, the Mahatma in the States is not the same as the one in the Bahamas. I personally love Jasmine, but he keeps complaining about this Mahatma rice. I don't know if he's sending signal to me like, girl, your rice is not there or what. I mean, it seems like he's enjoying the food, you know what I mean? But since he complains about it so much, I'm like, you know what? Let me finally get this Mahatma rice and make it for him. So this is actually the first time I'm going to cook Mahatma rice, but I'm sure that it's going to turn out great because this recipe works with any rice that you use. And I am using the 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water ratio. Again, in the description box, you will find the amount of everything that I am using here today. We're making this rice with sweet peas. Sweet peas is so good in rice. It just adds a little bit of sweetness to the rice. I absolutely love it. I'm using cooked shrimp. This shrimp says that it's already cooked, but honey, I ain't trusting that. I am still going to wash it with some lime, clean it off, and then I season it with my Haitian Epis and black pepper. If you haven't seen that video, it is on my channel. It's the first episode. You can see how I make that Haitian Epis. Then we're going to be using some onions, oil, crushed garlic, my Haitian Epis, butter, coconut milk. Coconut milk takes this rice to another level. I've done it without the coconut milk and with the coconut milk, and coconut milk wins every time. We're going to also be using some seasoned salt, black pepper, salt, and the star of the show, Maggi Djon Djon. This thing here, guys, c'est ça net, c'est coupé droit. C'est coupé droit. It is that good, okay? All right, so the first thing we do is we put our oil in the pot and let that get to a warm temperature. And then we're going to put our onions in and we're just going to saute our onions for about 5 to 7 minutes. I am on a high heat here. And then I'm going to add in my garlic. The reason why I add my onions first before the garlic and not do it together is because garlic burns quicker than onion. So you want to let that onion saute for a good, I would say 7 to 8 minutes. Okay, 7 to 8 minutes. Then you put in your garlic and let that saute for about 5 minutes together. The color will slightly change and it will look like this. When it looks like this, it's time to put in your Haitian Epis. You want to mix that all in and let that saute together until it looks like this. And this is the time that you drop in that sweet peas, and this is going to flavor your sweet peas and just make it so good all around. Okay, so you want to mix that all in. And then you want to crush your Maggi cube very finely on top. And then I'm going to add in the seasoning that I'm going to be using, which is going to be salt, black pepper, and seasoned salt. I can't live without my seasoned salt because seasoned salt, I grew up in the Bahamas. So in the States, you guys use Old Bay. Old Bay gives the exact same flavor. So if you don't have seasoned salt, Old Bay is an amazing substitute for it. It gives the same flavor, but I just prefer my seasoned salt. Now we're going to put in our Maggi cube. So you can do this two ways. You can do it the way that I'm doing it here, or to speed up the process, you can actually have your water boiling on the side. So before you prepped everything that I already did to get to this step, you would have the amount of water that you need in a pot, and you will put the Maggi in that water and let it boil as you're getting everything else ready. So by the time you get to this step, you can literally just pour the water in, and by then the Maggi would have already dissolved in the water, or would have been almost dissolved in the water. So that would definitely speed up the process. So you can do it like that, or you can do it the way that I'm doing it here. Mix it all in, throw in my Scotch bonnet pepper, and let that come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, you still let it boil for about 10 minutes because you want your Maggi to completely dissolve in the water. That is how you're going to get the best result from using this Maggi. It needs to be completely dissolved. So you want to check the water really, really well. Take your time while you're doing this to make sure that the Maggi is completely dissolved. When that happens, then you rinse your rice and you put it right into the pot. Some people say you shouldn't rinse your rice because you take all the nutrients out. Honey, over here, we wash our rice, and we wash our rice every single time, okay? Because there be some stuff in those. Sometimes you find those little black things in the rice, whatever you call them. I wash my rice. I need to wash it and take everything out. After you put your rice in, if you grew up learning to cook from your parents, you know to never mix the rice right away. To be honest, I've done it so many times and I just don't see the difference. But they always say don't mix your rice right away. You let the water come to a boil and then you mix it, because if you mix it before the water comes to a boil, your rice will be soggy. I don't know. I've done it so many times and my rice comes out great, but I just got to let y'all know what I know, okay? You're not supposed to mix it. So let it sit until it gets to a boil, and then you mix your rice, okay? Now, I am cooking a pretty big pot. For most of the times, I'm cooking more than an average person would do. Like, it's only me and my husband, but honey, I'm always cooking a lot because my sisters come over, and they always want food. So I just love to always have food, okay? I love food. Hello, everybody loves food. You need food to survive, right? So I'm cooking a pretty big pot here. If you want your rice to be darker and you're cooking a big pot like this, you have to put in 2 Diri Djon Djon. I don't want my rice to be super, super dark. I just want that Djon Djon taste, so I'm only using 1. But if you're going to be cooking a big pot like I am now, and you want it to be like black rice, you have to put in 2 Maggi to get that true color, because that's what gives it the color. At this point, now my rice is boiling, so I can add in my shrimp, okay? Remember, the shrimp has season in it. So when you put that shrimp in, it's going to add some more seasoning to your water. So this is the time that you mix it all in and you taste it. Make sure that it's to your liking, because, honey, you can't go back from here, okay? You have to taste that water and make sure it tastes good. Make sure it has flavor. If you need a little bit more salt, this is the time to add it. I would say just add seasoned salt, because seasoned salt would give you that flavor too. This is when you add it. And if everything tastes good, now you put in your coconut milk. Ooh, honey. Oh, that looks like heaven right there. I am a fan of coconut milk. It's so good in rice. So then you add in your butter at the same time, because you know how we say it over here in our kitchen. The game is not over until you add that butter, because butter seals the deal. Then you mix it all in and you let that cook. Do not bring your stove down. Leave it on that high heat and let it cook, okay? You cannot touffee your rice without letting the water completely dissolve. That's how you get that soggy rice. You have to make sure all of that water is gone. So just let it cook, and from time to time you just mix it to ensure that it's not going to stick to the bottom. You don't want most of your rice to be gate, so you got to mix it and let it cook. It depends on which rice you're cooking. This rice, to be honest, is my first time, like I said earlier, cooking it. So it took a little longer than my jasmine rice. Jasmine rice would have drank that water a lot sooner than this rice did. And then when it looks like this, you see, now you give it that last mix, okay? So it's coming down. The water is going down. That's what you want, okay? And this is going to ensure that your rice is not hard because you're letting it cook in the water. So I'm going to mix it and let the water completely dissolve. Takes time, but it'll get there. Now that the water is completely dissolved, look at that. So now I'm going to touffee my rice, and I'm using aluminum foil to do that. Okay, I grew up with my mama using plastic, but they say plastic causes cancer. And now there's studies out there that's saying aluminum foil causes Alzheimer's. So you know what, sweetie? Just use whatever you please, and pray. I am a hot mess. So I'm using aluminum foil, and I'm going to make sure I get all of the sides so that no air can pass through. And then I will put the hood of the pot back on, and I'm loving these pots. These pots are amazing. And I'm going to let that touffee for about 25 minutes, okay? 25 minutes to 30 minutes. You can even leave it for 30 minutes. This is a big pot, so I'm going to leave it for 30 minutes actually, okay? After 30 minutes, sweetie, this is what we're working with. Very, very, very nice, okay? And honey, I'm going to taste this a couple of times because this is some really good rice. If you want to impress somebody, you do this rice and show up to a party with it. They will be inviting you to every other party after that, okay? Because this rice is bomb. This is bomb. It tastes really good. So guys, this is what it looks like. I hope you enjoy this video. Thank you for kicking in here in my kitchen with me today. Here we have a lot of more great recipes that we have already shared with you guys. So take a look at our kitchen. Go in our kitchen, take a look, open up the fridge, open up the cabinet. Girl, pull out a chair and hang out. That's what we want. I would love to have you a part of my family here so that you can always hang out with me in the kitchen, cook up some really good food, and let me know in the comment, like, what do you guys want me to make for you? What would you like me to cook for you? I love cooking and I love sharing great recipes with you, because nothing makes people more happier than food. Food is just an amazing thing, and I love to share really great recipes on delicious food with you guys. So definitely hit that subscribe button and put your notification on if you love what we're doing here in our kitchen. And leave us some pointers in the comment. If you try this recipe, come back, let us know what you think about it. Was there anything I could have done to make it better? Because honey, I'm always willing to try new things. So tell me in the comment what I could have done to make this recipe even better. And the next time that I'm making Diri Djon Djon, which will be probably tomorrow, I will try your suggestion. Again, guys, thank you. And I really appreciate every single one of you that takes the time out to watch my videos, to like, to comment, and to share. Bon appetit!